see a wave in favor of the Congress because the Congress has not put forward a leader whom people can trust and believe in, nor have they put forward an ideology, which I think people believe, but the ideology doesn't work anymore, nor have they put together a program which is so very exciting. There's nothing that will drive towards the Congress, and we see the people who came to listen to the Prime Minister or the chairperson of UPA or the Secretary of the Congress, there's not much of a crowd. So there's no great wave. So I would say it's the BJP itself which is on a self-destruct basis, and I think that's helping the Congress.
So somewhere the Congress will have to call up B.S. Yediyurappa on the 8th of May and thank him for all his contribution, for not joining the Congress but leaving the BJP at the same time. Professor Shastri?
No. See, I think the real issue is not, for us, it's not which party wins. The real issue is whether the people of Karnataka will win. And by that we mean whether the people will get good governance. And we'll have to wait and see whether the new government will be able to provide that good governance. So it's not like an IPL match, I keep saying, where one side wins and one side loses. It is a very important election, and I think the main issue for voters is whether the voters will win. And as I've said, we'll really have to see whether the...
That looks a bit dicey as of now, because if you say infighting, that is there practically in every single party in Karnataka, including the Congress for that matter. There have been different noises that have come in as far as the Chief Minister's position is concerned, as far as giving away tickets to their own favorite candidates is concerned. We'll have to wait and see if we are looking at another mess happening in the future, or we are looking at a stable government which works for the benefit of the people. I'll come back to you, Professor Shastri. Mr. Jha, let me take your views, your thoughts on the overall verdict. It's not really a verdict right now, it's just an exit poll, but an indication as to what can be expected on 8th of May.
I would see all the possibilities of another round of hodgepodge in Karnataka. As Pai Sahab said, if anti-incumbency factor was so strong, then perhaps, as this exit poll shows, it could have been more or less a repeat of 1999, when S.M. Krishna's leadership gave Congress party something around 140 plus seats out of 224. But despite all this, 5 years of BJP misrule in Karnataka, 3 chief ministers having been changed, the Congress has definitely not been able to seize the initiative. If exit polls even today do not give Congress party more than 10 seats, then that leads one to say that Congress party may have shot in its own leg because of many reasons. Another area where I feel this exit poll is slightly not giving much to JDS. I would say, if you could see the kind of candidates Congress party has fielded in the old Mysore region, which accounts for about 90 odd seats, I think it looks like JDS has been given a virtual walkover by the Congress party. And more than that, the question of Kannadiga pride and the question of Vokaliga pride has perhaps not been addressed by the Congress leaders, and that is going to be the...
As a matter of fact, they don't really have a tall Vokaliga leader, or for that matter a Lingayat leader who can stand up and actually pull the votes towards him. That is one more aspect.
For that matter, Congress party does not have a leader at all who has statewide accessibility. Let's accept the fact. Congress party today has who? Dr. G. Parmeshwar may be a very nice gentleman. He is educated, he has many other qualities, but then he does not come in the same group as S.M. Krishna comes, or for that matter Virendra Patil came, or for that matter even Mallikarjun Kharge comes. So it is here that Congress party perhaps may be short of 10-15 seats here and there.
Fair enough, we'll come back to that point. Well, we are joined in by someone else right now. We have Mr. Yashwant Deshmukh, the founder of C-Voter, joining us live from Mumbai. Mr. Deshmukh is in an anti-incumbency mood, it seems, because that is what his C-Voter exit poll has to indicate. Mr. Deshmukh, if you can hear me clearly, do you think it is the anti-incumbency factor that could have worked against BJP, or do you think it is Mr. Yediyurappa who could have contributed to the BJP's downfall?
Exit poll in Karnataka clearly tells us that there is a huge anti-BJP wave in the state. This certainly is not a pro-Congress wave, even though the Congress, it seems like, is almost getting majority on its own, but it is by default. Simply because the anti-BJP wave is more of a split of BJP vote rather than it seems like an anti-incumbency, because if there was an anti-incumbency as such in big basis, then there should have been a reciprocal jump of votes as far as the Congress or the JDS is concerned. They have gained for sure, especially JDS has gained a couple of points, but it is largely because of the split of the BJP vote that the Congress or the is sailing through, and JDS also increasing the tally. It clearly seems that BJP is losing across the state, across all its strongholds. There is no single region which can be said that okay, BJP is still trying to cover up the belt over here, including the Bangalore metropolitan area, but largely it seems like it is the dent of the Lingayat votes. It is the dent of the Lingayat votes which is harming the BJP in a big way. If we see the split, you can clearly see that Yediyurappa is walking away with every fifth BJP vote. That means those who had voted for the BJP 5 years back, out of 100, every 20 votes have simply walked away to Yediyurappa's party. So this is, in other words, you can say BJP has retained roughly about 80 of those 100 votes, but this 20 out of 100 vote walking away from the BJP has done all the damage. Now, it will be a very interesting parallel study if you can see how it has damaged BJP in other parts. Say, for example, in Uttar Pradesh, many years back when Kalyan Singh walked away from the BJP, forming his own party, he also dented the BJP in the similar way. He could not win many on his own, but all he ensured was that BJP loses, and the BJP lost. When the BJP lost, it took almost 15 years, still the BJP is unable to recover in Uttar Pradesh as far as the state of the party is concerned. But Yediyurappa's party has done reasonably well in the first out. I think his main agenda was certainly not to come to power on his own or to form a government on his own. Yes, he would have loved to see a scenario where there is a hung assembly and he is cajoled and he is asked to come into the government together with anyone, which is dicey in a way that it is still not getting to that much, because Congress is more or less getting up enough numbers, and even if they fall short of a couple of seats, there are enough individuals and independents who would be willing to help the Congress out. JDS on the other hand has not only kept its vote share intact, but actually increased a point or so, and in fact might increasing the seat share by considerable basis. But again, probably to the disappointment of JDS, I think the equation is not going to be this much where JDS will be required to form a government by anyone. It seems that the default victory of the Congress would be near comfortable, in a way that they would probably not require JDS to form any kind of thing cobbled together. As far as the BJP is concerned, their numbers are going so down that even if they want to form a government with the JDS, I don't think there would be any real the magic figure where they can even think of doing so. So all in all, it seems like a very crushing defeat for the BJP from our exit poll stats. Of course, it is exit poll. We have tried our level best to reach all assembly segments. As you know that it has been standard methodology for us in the last 15 odd years now that we cover each and every assembly segment given opportunity into that state. And so our data is representative. Data is pretty much equal to what the census profile of or the voters profile of Karnataka is concerned, whatever it is, and we can be very sure about the data that even at the regional level, the margin of error that happens to be about 5 plus minus 5%, within margin of error also, it doesn't seem like that BJP is going to recover, because the swing against the BJP is almost touching 10%. That is a huge swing from any parameter, and of course majority of that minus 10% swing is its courtesy ex-chief minister and ex-BJP leader Yediyurappa's party. So Yediyurappa probably should be happy looking at this number, because his prime objective, defeating the BJP, is more or less certain. The second objective of being in the government or being the kingmaker, however, seems a bit dicey. For the BJP, it's all lost game in a way that at the time when the central UPA government is so much marred in so many corruption charges, the entire anti-incumbency wave against the Congress in rest of the India could not save the BJP in Karnataka. That means imagine how much disenchantment must have been against the BJP that even the huge anti-Congress wave in rest of the India is unable to do the damage control as far as the BJP is concerned. So BJP has to do a lot of introspection. BJP has to do a lot of thinking, on the ground. What has gone wrong? It is just about Yediyurappa going away. Is it about the party with a symbol of the party with a difference? I don't think that difference is there anymore as far as the voters are concerned. Their MLAs have been hugely unpopular. The government was not performing well. The issues clearly which have come out from the exit poll are the development and the corruption big time, and both the things have gone against the BJP. The things that BJP could have done, the things that the BJP has been winning in other states on that mandate of doing a better development, be it Gujarat, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Madhya Pradesh. But as far as Karnataka is concerned, it simply is very clear that BJP was unable to give the governance that people wanted from it. BJP was unable to keep their flocks together. It was infighting. It was the virtual split and fight party. It was indisciplined. It was corruption charges, the range of corruption charges. It was non-performance of the sitting MLAs that actually cost the BJP big time. Now on the other side, Congress, with the most of its own MLA being unpopular, Congress unable to throw any state leadership for the elections, with such a hugely unpopular central government. All these things set aside, it just managed to win its own vote share. It could not win, it could not gain the vote out of the BJP's anti-incumbency